In the quiet dust of a wood shop, surrounded by tools and shavings, rises a dragon that seems to pulse with ancient life. This sculpture is not just a piece of wood. It is a myth reborn in timber. Every scale, every claw, and every twist of its body speaks volumes about the passion and precision behind the craft. This dragon, firmly gripping the flaming pearl of wisdom, looks as if it's ready to awaken with a mighty roar. What makes this particular piece extraordinary is the intensity of expression captured in the dragon's face. The deep-set eyes, sharp brows, and slightly parted jaws convey not just power, but presence. This is the mark of a true master, transforming a lifeless log into a creature that breathes meaning. You can feel the tension in its limbs, the energy coiled in its spiraling body. It's not just wood. It's movement. It's story. It's legend. The detailing is nothing short of jaw-dropping. From the flowing whiskers that float around the dragon's snout to the flames that dance along its tail, every inch of this sculpture demands your attention. The texture of the pearl, held tightly between the dragon's claws, glows with the natural richness of the burl, symbolizing wisdom, immortality, and cosmic energy in Eastern mythology. The contrast between the raw wood block nearby and the finished dragon highlights the magical transformation that has taken place. If you've ever wondered what devotion and thousands of hours of skill look like, you're looking at it. This is the kind of craftsmanship that elevates woodworking from trade to art form. If this piece moves you, if you feel the same wonder and admiration we do, consider subscribing to Wood Carving Artist. Here, we don't just show carvings. We tell stories in grain and texture. We capture the spirit of dragons, the soul of warriors, and the poetry of wood itself. Drop a comment below. What part of the sculpture grabs your eye the most? Is it the fierce eyes, the swirling mane, or the way it seems to guard that pearl with its very life? Your thoughts make our community stronger, more connected. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join us as we uncover more breathtaking masterpieces, step-by-step carving processes, and the timeless magic of wood. At Wood Carving Artist, we believe every piece has a story, and every subscriber becomes part of that journey. Let this dragon be your invitation to a world where wood becomes wonder. Fire Draken. This wooden vase is a beautiful testament to the elegance of simplicity and the magic of natural wood grain. At first glance, it may seem understated, but look closer and you'll find a delicate blend of form, craftsmanship, and nature's own art. The soft curves, the smooth polish, and the organically flowing grain patterns give this vase a quiet, graceful presence that grows more captivating the longer you gaze at it. What makes this piece so special is the balance between technique and respect for the wood itself. The shape, with its bulbous body tapering into a slender neck, topped with a gently flared, petal-like rim, shows precision and care in every cut. But it's the decision to let the natural knot in the lower body remain visible that reveals a deep artistic philosophy, embracing imperfections as part of the beauty. The finish is crystal smooth, reflecting light like polished stone, and yet it maintains the warmth and soul of wood. There's a softness in the shine, not artificial or plastic, but a luster that comes only from hours of sanding, oiling, and gentle polishing by hand. This vase doesn't scream for attention. It invites you in with quiet confidence. Placed against the raw texture of the concrete wall in the background, the contrast tells its own story. The cold industrial world versus handcrafted tradition. This vase feels alive, as if it carries with it a breath of the forest from which it came. At wood carving artists, we believe that every creation should honor both the skill of the craftsman and the soul of the material. This vase is a perfect example of that philosophy brought to life. If you're inspired by natural beauty, precise craftsmanship, and the timeless elegance of hand-turned wood, consider joining our community by hitting the subscribe button. Tell us in the comments, what do you feel when you see this piece? Does the natural knot speak to you? Do the gentle curves remind you of classic ceramics or floral forms? We love hearing your impressions and stories. That's what makes this channel a true community of wood lovers and artists. If you haven't subscribed to Wood Carving Artistry, now's the perfect moment. We share the process behind pieces like this, from rough blocks to final finishes, giving you an inside look at the heart and soul behind the craft. So don't miss the next project. Hit subscribe and turn on the bell so you're part of every step, every cut, every polish, every masterpiece. Here at Wood Carving Artists, we don't just carve wood, we celebrate it. At first glance, this vase might look like a clash between raw wilderness and refined craftsmanship. But that's exactly what makes it extraordinary. This piece doesn't just hold flowers. It holds contrast, character, and centuries of natural growth sculpted into a vessel of deep artistic expression. The upper portion of the vase is smoothly turned, showcasing a rich, deep amber tone that seems to glow under the sunlight. Its polished neck flares slightly outward, like a blooming flower reaching toward the sky. But as your eyes drift downward, everything changes. The clean curves give way to wild, jagged textures. The untouched burl wood preserved in all its natural phase. And that contrast is stunning. This vase is a statement, a reminder that beauty doesn't always come from perfection. Sometimes it comes from embracing flaws, cracks, burns, and knots. The raw base tells the story of the tree's struggle, its growth through seasons, storms, and survival. It's as if the tree never wanted to let go of its identity. And the artist agrees. If you're someone who sees beauty in imperfection, who values art that feels alive and raw, this piece will speak directly to your soul. At Wood Carving Artist, we believe that true craftsmanship doesn't erase nature, it highlights it. That's why pieces like this vase are so powerful. They challenge the idea of finished and redefine it as truthful. And if you resonate with that philosophy, consider subscribing to our channel for more. Let us know in the comments. What do you feel when you look at this vase? Do you see a relic from a fantasy world? A sculpture frozen between nature and man? Or maybe something even deeper? This isn't just wood. It's memory. It's movement. It's the quiet strength of the earth itself, preserved by human hands but never fully tamed. If you're not already part of our growing community, now's a great time to hit subscribe. At Wood Carving Artist, we take you behind every chiseled stroke and polished paths, from gnarled roots to glowing finish. These stories deserve to be told, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. So if you're inspired by this blend of raw and refined, if this vase stirs something in you, click that subscribe button. Join the tribe that honors tradition, celebrates nature, and breathes new life into every piece of wood. Here at Wood Carving Artist, every vase is more than an object. It's a conversation between the forest and the artist, and we invite you to listen. Firewood. What you're looking at isn't just a colorful globe. It's a celebration of creativity, precision, and childhood wonder, all captured in one breathtaking piece. This handcrafted sculpture, made from colored pencils and resin, is one of the most eye-catching and imaginative works we've featured on Wood Carving Artist. At first glance, it feels almost surreal. The rainbow-like pattern draws you in instantly, a kaleidoscope of vertical streaks, each pencil perfectly preserved in clear resin, like an artifact frozen in time. The light hits it, and suddenly, it glows, it reflects, it dances. This piece isn't just visually appealing, it's deeply symbolic. Think about it. Each pencil started as a simple tool for creativity, a means to draw, write, dream. But when gathered and fused into this spherical form, they become more than the sum of their parts. They become a monument to imagination itself. And the craftsmanship? Absolutely meticulous. Aligning hundreds of pencils, casting them in a perfect orb of resin, sanding and polishing the surface until it shines like glass. It takes patience, vision, and respect for the materials. It's a reminder that even the most humble objects can be transformed into something extraordinary when guided by the hands of a passionate artist. At Wood Carving Artist, we love showcasing these boundary-pushing pieces. From traditional wood sculptures to modern resin fusions, we believe every work has a story worth sharing. If this creation caught your eye, take a second to subscribe, because this is just the beginning. Now imagine this globe sitting on your shelf, your desk, or even your workshop. A reminder that color, creativity, and craftsmanship still have a place in the world. And if you're someone who appreciates innovation, detail, and the sheer joy of making something truly unique, we invite you to become part of our community here at Wood Carving Artist. Every week, we feature pieces that surprise, inspire, and sometimes even challenge the way we see the craft of woodworking. Drop a comment below. What's your first reaction to this piece? Do you see it as a sculpture, a statement, or simply a beautiful object? We'd love to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join thousands of others who share your passion for art, craft, and creativity. At Wood Carving Artist, every piece tells a story. And with your support, we'll keep telling them, one masterpiece at a time. Wooden pencil, sparkles, paintbrush,